Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Jean. Welcome to my station, Big City Girl, Small City Living. I've been busy working on the exterior of my home, painting the steps and the sidewalk, laying pavers, and now the last part is putting a fall wreath on my door. So I'm going to be repurposing a wreath that I bought at Goodwill for my front door, and I'm going to be repurposing a burlap tote using an embroidery hoop to create a wreath for my back door. So let me show you how I did these two items really quick, simply, and inexpensively.
This is the burlap tote I won at bingo. I absolutely love the Van Gogh flowers. I knew I would never use the bag as it was, so I decided to deconstruct the bag, and I started by removing the rope handles by simply untying the knot. I also needed to remove the lining and cut the picture away from the sides, back, and bottom of the bag, and I simply used scissors and worked along the seams. I then removed the lining and completed cutting away all the excess fabric. I bought this 14-inch embroidery hoop from the thrift store for only 50 cents, and I used the hoop as a template to create a circle 2 inches out from the edge. I also removed the grommets, which came off easily, and then I cut along the circle. I made sure I covered the grommet holes, and I used some of the excess fabric and hot glued it into place, and now it was totally invisible. With this simple trick, now you can never tell the holes were ever there. I then placed the cut fabric right side up on top of the inner loop and centered it. I hot glued the top and bottom to the ring so that it would prevent the fabric from moving while attaching the outer ring. Now I've secured the outer loop around the picture and secured it firmly in place with the screw at the top, and I made sure to leave extra fabric around the edges that I could hot glue in place and trim as needed. And this is how it looks now from the back when it's done. Now it was time to work on the rope handles. So I took the rope handles, unwound them, and made 3 separate strands. I then retied the ends together in a new knot and braided the 3 strands together. Once I finished braiding, I measured the strands to fit along the outside edge of the hoop. I cut off the excess rope, I taped the ends together with some clear tape to keep it from unraveling, and then I hot glued the braided rope in place around the ring. And this is how it looked when it was complete.
This is how I decided to decorate the wreath. And all I did was buy these inexpensive packages of burlap leaves from Dollar Tree. These I happened to find in the thrift store while I was there, so I didn't make an extra trip. What I would recommend is you add extra hot glue to the wire because they do tend to come apart sometimes. And I've decorated the top, and I might add a few at the bottom, but this project is essentially complete. It cost me, as I said, 50 cents for the ring. This was an old bag that I won, and the rope was attached to the bag, and these extra adornments only cost me about $1.50, so for $2 I have a really nice wreath for the back door. This is the wreath that I got from the Goodwill, and it was $7.99. And the easiest thing for me or anyone to do is to see if these items attached to the wreath are held on by glue or by maybe some wire. And I was lucky enough to find out that this bow and this dragonfly and most of the items were held on with wire. So I'm able to deconstruct this now and put on 2 items that I found. One I found at a local vendor's market. She was only selling this bow for $1.50. And the black and white is a really easy pattern to find. You can find them in Michael's, Hobby Lobby. They're all over the place. You can find rolls of ribbon if you want to make your own bow. I'm not that good at making bows. And then I was able to pick up this little chalkboard from the Dollar Tree that I'm going to also put on this item. And then I had some additional leaves from the previous project that I can just intersperse around here to give it more of a fall look. So let me get started. As you can see, both the bow and the dragonfly were held on with just pipe cleaners. So I took them off and I can put them back on the wreath or any other object I want at a later date. And I decided to hot glue pipe cleaners onto the back of these objects. So this plaque, I put pipe cleaner and I took off the little hanging thread that was on there because I don't need that. I put a pipe cleaner to the back of this bow as well, and then I hot glued a pipe cleaner onto these burlap leaves. So now I'm going to attach them to the wreath and see how it looks. I want to show you how I arranged the wreath. So I took the bow off and replaced it with the black and white bow. I also snipped the tails to make them shorter so that the burlap would show. I added my little sign here. Now I had letters, so I just used them to make a welcome sign, but this could be used with chalk as well if you'd like to. And to cover up some of more of the spring decor, I added some of these extra burlap leaves that I had already. So now I just put a end tag on it and I'm ready to put it on my front door. Everything was adhered with just some beige, pipe cleaners, and it works really well. So now I'm ready to put it outside. Here is how the embroidery hoop wreath looks on my back door. I think it looks great and it's nice and flat and lightweight. It's not putting any pressure. It's not going to also scratch my door up because I do not want to have to repaint my door. Here is the other wreath that I made for my front door with the welcome little sign on it, and it looks very lovely. It really complements the door itself with the burlap. I like the way it came out. Again, I can just reconfigure this any way I want in the future by putting on a different bow and different decor.